Okay, so I'm going to kind of do some of the homework problems here. Just a couple, just the ones I think people typically have a little bit of confusion on. Again, I'm in the Smart Book. Yours should look very similar to mine. Remember, mine's instructor view, so it might be a little bit different. I switched over to student view. Again, the dates may be different depending on what course you're in. However, the thing's the same. Remember, each week there'll be some Smart Book readings and some homework. So this week I am going to work on some of the problems in chapter 3. So let's do a few of these that I think might be beneficial. So you can see there's 10 questions, 50 points, and you have unlimited attempts. What I highly encourage you to go back and rework the problems when you missed them for one or two reasons. One, it'll help you get a better understanding of the material, and two, you'll go into the final with a really good grade where the final won't be as stressful, right? So you can keep reworking these problems, and you only have to rework the problems you miss. So you don't have to keep redoing the problems over and over again. Um, so that's something to kind of consider when you're doing these things. Is it's better to do them. And after you've turned in your homework, I will provide feedback, and you can even go back and rework some of the problems even after the due date. So again, I encourage everyone to keep doing the problems until you get them correctly, and use the discussions if you have questions. All right, so let's do a few of these. I'm gonna do all 10. I'm just gonna do the ones that kind of get people to struggle. So this is probably one of the ones that I get the most confused over. All right. So we have our data here, and we're gonna create what they call a stem leaf plot, right? And so what easiest thing to do is open this thing into Excel, right? And so I'm going to try to bring it up on both screens. So if I bring it up in Excel, I'll bring it over here so you can see it on both screens. Um, and why I say open it in Excel, even though I'm not going to do a lot to do things with it in here in Excel, is I want to sort the data, right? And so what we can do is take this data and click on data and then click on sort. And expand just means I want to also include the stuff in column B so they stay lined up. I want to do defects from smallest to largest. And you can see now it moved them all around, right? And so the reason we want to do this is to build our stem and leaf plot, because now we can see that we have our smallest number is 84, our largest number is 171, right? And so the stem unit, let me try to shrink this down so we can see both still, sorry. The stem unit is going to be the tens place, and the leaf is the ones, right? And so you can click on this check my work to let you know if you're on the right path, and it is. So not all questions will have that, but it does. So remember, the stem unit is where we're starting our branch, right? That's why it's called stem of the leaf. Think of it as like a tree, right? So we're going to do everything in the 10 spot, and our leaf is going to be based on the ones, right? And so you can see they've already done the stem numbers for us. So this 8 represents 80. This 9 represents 90, 10, 100, because everything's in the 10. So basically you're adding a 0 to all of these numbers. And then the leaf is the numbers here. So if we come over to our Excel, we can see we have an 84, 85, 86, 86. We have 4 numbers. So that means a total of 4 numbers. Oh, returning my question. So then I put a 4 in there because there's 4 numbers that are in the 80s. And then the numbers in the ones places are 4, 5, 6, and 6. So I do 4, 5, 6, 6, right? I'm looking at the numbers in the ones place. Then I go to nines. There's only one 9, a 92. So that has a frequency of 1. And then it's just a 2. So I pick that one. And then when 100s, I have 100, 102, 106, 107, 107. So that is going to be 1, a 0, a 2, a 6, and 2 sevens. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers there. They've already done the 11s, 12s, and 13s for you. So really, you can just count the numbers they have listed for you. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So there's 11 of those, 4 of those, and 5 of those, there's 0 in the 15s, there's 0 in the 16s, right? And then go back to 14s here. So when the 140s, right? Because that's not 14, that's 140. Remember to add a 0. So I come here to my 140s, there is one number. So I'm going to put a 1 there, and there should be just the 7. And then my 170s only also has one number, so I put a 1 there, and it ends in 1, right? And so now the frequency is just adding up all of those numbers to get your frequency, right? So I'm going to, as you get comfortable with Excel, you can do a lot of cool tricks. Like I highlight all the numbers, and it says there is 32 numbers that I've highlighted. So this thing must add to 32. Again, you can use your calculator. So let's see, 11 plus 9 is 20, 21, 25, 30, 31, 32. Right, and again, not all the problems will have to check my work, but you can click on it and do a quick check. So a dot plot, what it does is it then takes this stem and leaf and puts dots for all the numbers. So you can see 80, I have an 84, an 85, an 86, and an 86. So I come down here and look for the dots. So here's my 80s. So it looks like an 84, because it looks like it's counting by here. Let's see, this is 80, this is 100, so that's 82, 84, 86, not that. So 85, 90, 95. No, I'm trying to not sure what they're counting by here. Trying to figure out their counts here. So let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers. So that's kind of a weird way to break the count down here. Let's see if this other one makes more sense. So this is 70, 75, 80, 85. Nope. Yeah, I don't really like any of these. Let's look at, I guess the easiest thing is to look at the dots. The scales seem to be hard to read on some of these, and we have to be the limits of the software, but there's 4 numbers in the 80s. So this is the 4 dots here. And you can see they're single, single, and then 2 stacked. So it must be A. So I come down here, I just pick dot A, and again, I can check my work, and I got it. And again, not all of them have it. So, but that's the stem and leaf one. This is one of the problems that students kind of struggle with. Again, the stem unit is what are the values in the stem values represent, and they're all in the tens, because if I put a 0 on all these, then they are the accurate number, and my leaf unit is my ones. And if you hit save and exit, you can save or submit to submit. Close out my Excel. Don't save. So here's another one. They want you to build a line thing. So again, if you click on Excel, open it up, and I'll bring it over here. No, actually, in the right place this time. I click Enable Editing. I'll put it over here so you can see. Right, I want to build a line graph, and it look by season. Right, so I have these 3 line graphs, and they're by season. So if you highlight the data and go to Insert, I can click on Charts. You can even click on Recommended Charts. I'll click on Recommended. So they have a bar, bar, bar. So I don't like any of those. So we know we want a line because it's showing us a line. So we'll click on a line graph, and then it creates it for us. And then what we need to do is see which of these line graphs look the same as this one. So you can say they all basically increase, and then they all have that sharp dip. So this one has a longer dip. Well, this looks like a check. So it's either going to be B or A, because I have this quick check here. Excuse me. So what are the differences here? Where is the big difference in these? I'm leaning more to A because it's more not fluid, but kind of drives a little bit better than B does. B is a little more jagged, and mine doesn't have all these jaggeds in it. So I'm going to say A is the answer. Again, you can check my work, and it does. Describe if there's any pattern. So you can see there is a steady, it basically is slowly climbing, right? So the steady increase until a sharp drop in 2014 and 2015, right? Okay. Then it was a show to steadily decrease. No, they're increasing until a sharp drop in 2002 and 2003. No, I'd say the sharp drop is here 2014 to 2015. Oh, return to my question. And then we're good, right? So we're going to read the graphs. Here's another Excel one. So again, you can open your data in Excel. And again, you don't have to do these. Like this one's probably easy enough to look at. We're going to build a bar graph, and you can see under 40, 40 or less. So these are the three numbers, which of these, and you can see they dropped all 3 times. So these all drop, these 2 increase, those 2 drop, B and C. So you're basically going to build a graph. But again, we like to use technology in this class. So I'm going to open it up, put it in Excel, enable editing. And again, you can just highlight the data and then click on insert. And then again, click on, that's charts. And you can see they even did the exact same colors. So which of the 3 graphs look like this, right? And so looks like the big difference here is the N. These are all decreasing, while these are all increasing. So it is A. All right, and then there's some other types of graphs. So I'll let you finish that question, but that's how you use Excel to build these graphs. Pie chart, again, open it in Excel. And just to remember, everyone gets free Excel. If you go to Office 365 and you type in your student email and student password, you can download Office 365 for free to your computer. Right, so again, highlight the data, insert, and now we're doing a pie chart. And now you can see we have a pie chart. And you can click on quick layout and change how they look. So you can get it to look similar to what the problems are, right? So they all have percentages in there. So I'm gonna put percentages in mine. All right, and so this is a little misleading here because, oh, I highlighted the total. So be very careful. So Mike didn't get the same values, but that's because I accidentally highlighted the total when I created my graph. So I'm gonna delete my chart, insert it again, highlight not including the total. And now I can click on quick layout, put in my percents, and now I'm getting the right values. All right, so be careful when you highlight things. If you do too quick like I did, you will unhighlight something you shouldn't. And so now you can see the pieces, the colors, again, are very similar. So 68% is very concerned. 23% is somewhat concerned, and 9% is not very concerned. And so it looks like A is the one. Yeah, so they changed their titles. So you have to really read the wording. And then they again have some different types of graphs. Here is a scatter plot. So again, to do this in Excel, click on the Excel file, have it open up. And I'm not going through real quick and explaining what these things mean. I'll let you kind of do the readings and figure that out. I'm trying to, this video is mainly to show how to use the technology to help build these things. So open in Excel, I highlight all my data, no total this time, so I should be okay. And click on all the one that has the dots. And now I have a scatter plot. And again, just finding the one that looks similar. So it looks like it's A. And then have some videos on what's wrong with these graphs. Again, that's in the reading, those that you kind of do. Here is another line graph. Again, open in Excel, put it in a line graph. All right, that's the last one will be the one I kind of talk about. So close this. So here, they want you to build a histogram. So if you open it up in Excel, and they put it in block format as well as this diagram here. So I just want to use this. So if I click enable editing, I can then highlight my data and click on insert. And then this middle one has the histogram. And you can see, did not build the way I was supposed to, right? That's the problem with the Excel's histogram. It just builds it the way they think is best. So the better thing to do is to create what they have here. So they got these bins. So it looks like they're by 5, 5, 10, 15, 20. Yep. So if I create this extra column in Excel called bin. And then I'm going to count by 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And I got a pattern here. And then what you can do is highlight these and then just drag them down. And you can see we go out to 180. I don't think it's necessary to go that big, but we'll follow what they did here. All right. We go one past. Excuse me. So we have the bins. And so what you have to do is, we'll pause for a second, is add data analysis. So I have 2 videos on there on how to add data analysis. So please watch those videos. I've already put it on this computer. So once you've installed data analysis, I have a video for how to put it on Excel, Windows, as well as a video for Windows and Mac. Once you have it installed, click on data analysis, and there is a thing called histogram. And this histogram, different than the other one, is it lets you control what you are, it lets you create your histogram to your size. So I'm going to open up histogram. Input range is your data. So I'm just going to highlight all my data. I did purposely highlight the words in this case. I'm going to show you how to do it with words. All right, so I included the compensation. Bin is the numbers I just created. That is the numbers you want as your horizontal axis. I have labels, so I'm going to check that box. Output is where do you want this to go? So I want to put it right next to here. So I'll just pick an empty cell. And you always need to tell to build you a chart, right? So then I click OK. Now I have my histogram, and it looks a lot like theirs, right? Now mine has gaps and theirs doesn't, and we can play around and change the gaps, but we can still have a decent idea. Like it comes down, then we have 3 across that are the same, and we have these 2 outliers. It comes down, 3 across are the same, and the outliers, right? So again, A, and then a lot of people estimate these values, right? Don't estimate the values. Come up here to your data, right? And what you can do is if you go back to your Excel, if I do that sort function again, so I highlight my data and click on sort, smallest to largest, I can see the exact values of those points that are way out there. So if we look at our histogram, we can see there's a point past 180. In the case here, it's 192.92. And we have another point in the 60s. So don't estimate, look at the data and put in the exact values, right? So mine is, so that way you can do that. So hopefully this video is helpful for you. I encourage you to work it. Again, save in Excel, let you keep working on it, submit your grades to me. And you can tell I have all these empties, but that's fine. I'm gonna click submit for me. And you can see I didn't do very well because I skipped a lot of problems. But when I go back in to rework these, all the ones I got correct, I will not have to redo. Please post any questions you have in the discussions or email me. Have a wonderful week.